They call me Dracula, monster, devil, the Impaler. And yet my hands are no bloodier than those who waged war in the names of kings, faith, and empire. The only difference is this: I did not pretend to be merciful. Mercy is a lie men tell themselves to mask their weakness. Power does not ask for forgiveness. Power does not beg. I was born Vlad Drăculea, son of the dragon, a prince of Wallachia, heir to a land beset by war. But power is a frail thing, as fragile as a whisper in the wrong ear. They took me from my father's halls, wrapped me in chains and cast me into the hands of the Ottomans. There, in the shadows of their empire, I learned their tongue, their customs, their weaknesses. I watched my brother Radu kneel, smile, obey, but I sharpened my hate into a blade. The nights in their prisons were long, but I did not weep. I listened, I learned, I waited. Patience, you see, is a weapon sharper than any sword. And when they murdered my father, when my family was butchered by those who once swore loyalty, I swore an oath of my own. Not to any god, not to any king or any country, but to vengeance. When I returned to my land, they expected a puppet, a man who would bow as others had before me. They found a prince who would break them instead. Some call it cruelty. I call it a lesson written in blood. A dead enemy is forgotten, but the man impaled, his body writhing, his screams carried by the wind, he is remembered. They whispered my name in fear, their voices trembling in candlelit halls. The Impaler, they called me, a name birthed in the cries of the dying. When the Sultan demanded submission, I sent him a gift. 1,000 impaled men, their bodies rotting in the sun. Let him choke on my answer. A man may fight with swords, or he may fight with fear. I chose the latter. They marched upon my land, 100,000 strong, but by the time I was finished, they marched in fear, torches trembling in their hands, afraid of what lurked in the night. We struck from the darkness, swift as the wind, merciless as death itself. We set fire to their tents, slit their throats, and vanished before they could even scream. And when they pressed forward, they found my true gift awaiting them, a forest of impaled men scratching to the horizon. Even the great Sultan himself turned away in horror. Do you see now? Fear is a weapon far greater than any sword. Fear turns the bravest men into cowards. Fear shatters empires. But men love their monsters, and so the whispers began. That I drank the blood of my enemies, that I walked in the night, untouched by death. Did I inspire these tales, or did they create them? They wrote my name into history, into legend, into fear itself. Dracula, they called me, and centuries later, a man named Stoker took what remained of me and twisted it into something else. The fool thought he was writing fiction, but the truth is always stranger than myth. Did I die upon the battlefield, or do I still walk among you, hidden in the shadows of history? I see my name in ink, my face on the silver screen. They dress me in a cape, whisper my name in the dark, but they do not know me. Not truly. I am more than ink, more than legend. After all, legends never die.